Hey guys, PeeCarNoo here, bringing you the GTA 5 video, and today we've got a little guide, a little tip to explain and hopefully prove that there's a certain way of landing a car in a jump when using when in races, when using a little bit of airtime, and there's a position of what you should do with your car when landing. So hopefully this video is going to explain. I am going to say please stick around to the end of the video because it is very interesting what actually happens on a certain car. So yeah, let's get into it. So today we've got this. I've created this track on a long, bumpy airtime road in GTA 5, and we've got the Felter. Now the Felter is rear wheel drive. What I've done is landed the car on four wheels, and you can see we get a 33.132. So bear that in mind, 33.132. Now that was just landing the car on four wheels, just letting the car land itself, letting gravity take over. So I'm doing the same test again, but this time we're going to actually land the car on its rear wheels first, because obviously this car is rear wheel drive, so I'm pushing the analog stick back, putting the power down first, so it allows me to accelerate in theory quicker out of these little jumps. And you know what you'll find is I've been using this technique for quite some time. Some people have been using this technique quite some time, just putting the back wheels down. If it's a rear wheel drive car, putting the back wheels down first. And does it make it quicker? Yes it does. So 32.632 is half a second quicker than, you know, just normally landing a rear wheel drive car first. So I was thinking, okay, so what if we use a four wheel drive car? How does four wheel drive change within the circumstances? So the Osiris, obviously being a four wheel drive car, very dominant four wheel drive car, and I'm doing the same test again first. So I'm landing the car just how it's meant to be landed, letting the car take over and letting gravity do its thing. So this is quite interesting, because what this little clip shows now is don't always do one thing within airtime. Like, you've got to know what car you're using. So this here sets the benchmark with a normal drop in a jump of 30.997. So 30.9. So I was like, okay, so let's put the back wheels down. Now, obviously, four-wheel drive car still, but, you know, if we have the two back wheels down first, then we've got some power going straight away onto the tarmac. Now, you would have thought this obviously improves the time, considering amount, like 0.5 of a second, like we saw with the Felter. So as you can see here, pulling down the analog stick again, to an extent where I'm getting the back wheels down nicely, not hitting the bumper on the car. But as you can probably tell, it's not quicker. It doesn't feel quicker anyway, even from this footage. It just doesn't seem quicker, and what you'll end up with is a time of a 31.132. Now this is okay, this is, you know, some could say this is quite a small gap, but I constantly tested this out and it was the same story. It was always 0.2, 0.3 of a second slower, you know, give or take a few tenths of a second. So it was always slower. So I thought, right, four-wheel drive, so what if we put the front wheels down first? Does this help whatsoever? And, you know, it was a test that I thought, you know, we'd try. I mean, I've never really done it with the front wheel because it's always quite risky. You just dig into the tarmac and you can just do barrel rolls and do kamikaze front flip no scopes and things like that. So it's not the way I'd recommend doing it, but it does set a lap time of 31.4, so it's the slowest way of doing it. Let's be honest. So what I tried to do now was, okay, so the Osiris is slower putting the rear wheels down first, even though you're putting two wheels down quicker than you are putting four wheels down. So I thought, right, is this the case with all four-wheel drive cars? So I tested this with the Entity. Now I want to say I also tested it with the Adder as well and the Zentorno, but the Entity is just a good car to represent because it's sort of like a different car completely to the Osiris. So here again, I'm just using the car with just letting the car do its jump, letting gravity take over, four wheels onto the tarmac, and the time that this car gets is quite interesting. So this car gets a 31.364. So 31.364. Now I will have a conclusion table at the end with all the figures, so you can obviously see it in a lot more detail. This is just a run through of what's been tested basically. This was quite interesting. The reason I did this is because this was a few days ago, and an Osiris overtook me when I landed on 2 wheels, and he just landed normally. It just overtook me constantly, and I was thinking, am I doing something wrong here? So thought I'd test it out. So now, anyway, back to it. The Entity, I'm putting down 2 wheels as best as I can, pulling down the left analog stick, so it's allowing the car, even though it's 4-wheel drive, to get 2 driven wheels onto the tarmac as quickly as possible. And what is quite astonishing is this car here pulls off a 30.5. 30.5. Now, that's a quick time. That's more than half a second quicker. That's nearly a second. Well, not nearly a second, but you get the gist anyway. It's almost more than half a second. So basically, in conclusion, is any rear-wheel drive car in the Sports or Super, yes, put the back wheels down regardless of the car. It will help you. Now, with any 4-wheel drive car, excluding the Osiris, yes, putting the back wheels down does help you. However, the Osiris suffers actually being slower when putting the back wheels down. The car just bogs down. It just doesn't allow it, and it's just slower. So yeah, guys, that's the conclusion anyway. If you're using the Osiris, do not put the rear wheels down first. Just let it do its own thing. And if you enjoyed this little tips, guys, drop the video a like. If you're new around here, subscribe to the channel. The new DLC is coming out, so I'll be testing all the new cars, comparing them against the Osiris. And hopefully I'll see you in the next video, guys. Cheers.